What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Grind Season 4, Episode 14. My name is Tyler Wargo.
And I'm Mickey Perella.
And today, we have quite a talk about. I mean, considering the fight we've had on the last show, we finally can come to an agreement on really who won that debate. So we have that to talk about, NFL news to talk about, MLB Spring Training, NHL, and NBA to talk about. A lot more stuff to talk about than last time. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off, Magic stunned the Knicks 111-106 in Orlando. This was a big win the Magic picked up. Not going to help them going forward, but like I said the last show, the Knicks, come on, they could fall off some games. What's your thoughts?
I mean, they haven't been playing well recently. Julius Randle, one of their best players in particular, has not been doing well on the court and to his teammates. He was yelling at his teammates last game. It hasn't been working out great for him. The Knicks have been dropping some games that they should have been winning, and it's not looking good for them right now. The Magic, on the other hand, have been looking better as of recently, and they're probably going to be a better team going into next year.
It's just the wrong time that they really started to pick things up. As for the Cavaliers, they topped the Nets 116-114. And what a game this was. Isaac Okoro, who was a prospect rookie on the Cavaliers, he shot a game-winning three-pointer to beat the Nets. What a great win that was that the Cavaliers had. And, well, we're going to get into this, but we're going to talk about the question of, are the Cavaliers underrated? So before we start to talk about that, let's look at the record by both these teams. Obviously, the Cavaliers, at the very start of their half of the season, they were not the greatest, but they picked it up into the second half, and we kind of saw more from them than a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference right now. So the Cavaliers, look out for them. Their record is 47-28. As for the Nets record, they're 39-34. So the Nets, they're very iffy in between. They can win games, they can lose games. But as for the Cavaliers, they're on an absolute tear. And this comes to my question of, are the Cavaliers undefeated? I mean, underrated?
I think the Cavs are a little underrated. Although I have seen them haven't been great as of recently, but they're still underrated, yeah. I think they're a good team. Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. They still got a really good team there. But the question is, who are they going to play in the playoffs? That's going to be huge for them, because I don't know if they're going to win or they're going to lose, because I don't know who they're going to play yet in the playoffs. So once we figure that out, we can figure out if they're going to go far or not.
So they got Donovan Mitchell too on their team. They had a lot of good pickups. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see them head into this playoffs and see where they're going to be placed, because right now, because of their first half of the season, they're going to just make it into the play-in tournament. They might not go directly into the playoffs because of, there's a lot of other teams in the Eastern Conference that do surpass the Cavaliers, but it's going to be very interesting where they place in the playoffs. So my last question is on the Nets side. Is Mikal Bridges the best player on the Nets right now?
Yes, Mikal Bridges is the best player on the Nets right now. He can really score on offense. He can really, really play defense. And even though the Nets lost Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving at the trade line this year and kind of blew up their whole team, and they kind of been in this weird area because they have this weird team full of these average-ish players, and they don't really have a huge star anymore, but Mikal Bridges could be that next star for them.
I think he's doing better than when he was on Phoenix.
He's definitely had more opportunity because he was kind of pushed back for Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul. But now he has a team all to himself, and he's taking advantage of it.
He's a good point guard, and he's young, too. I feel like the Nets are going to rely on this guy for seasons to come. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of trades happening from this guy right here. They want to keep him. So we're going to see where they're going to head off into the playoffs with Mikal Bridges and where he places. But him, Dinwiddie, I think they're all going to be playing excellent going forward. I think the Nets team now is better than the Nets team that they originally had. As much as, the Nets had Irving and Durant, I feel like the Nets can start something new here with these new prospects and rookies.
They're definitely a lot more capable and, on the floor, because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, even though how talented they were for numerous reasons over the past 3 or 4 years, they were just never able to get on the floor together.
Yeah. So now Pelicans own the Hornets 96-115 at the Smoothie King Center. Man of the game was Brandon Ingram. This guy's back. I mean, considering all these injuries he's had, he's the only guy on the Pelicans right now that can stay healthy and really can put the points on the board. And without Zion Williamson, the Pelicans still being able to get some wins on the board, not a lot of wins, but get wins, I think that's crucial for them. Brandon Ingram had 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Defensive game. This was definitely a defensive game for the Pelicans right here. I mean, considering that they worked both offensively and defensively, we saw a lot from the defense right here. I mean, stopping the Hornets from surpassing 100 points in that game was crucial. The Hornets, again, they're not that good, but this Pelicans team, defensively, definitely one of the best in the conference.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Pelicans are 10th in the West. they're tied 36 and 37 with two different teams. That's the Mavericks and the Lakers. Now, we don't know if they're going to surpass these two teams. I think they're going to surpass the Lakers, but I don't think they're going to surpass the Mavericks. What's your thoughts?
I actually kind of agree with you that they're going to pass the Lakers, but I think they can pass the Mavericks because, Kyrie Irving's been kind of hit or miss for them. They kind of haven't had their whole team together. I kind of like the sum of the parts of the Pelicans all year long. We've been talking about how I really like the Pelicans. So I think they can pass the Pelicans, the Mavericks, but I think there's also a possibility where, as you said, they don't pass the Mavericks either.
Well, they just get injuries. I mean, we don't see Doncic.
Yeah, Zion hasn't been back still. He's still been out. He's been out for months now.
Every season he gets injured. This is why you can't put him on the cover of an NBA 2K game because what's the point? He's going to get injured.
Exactly.
So yeah, but as for the Hornets, they're 14th place in the East, so definitely not looking at them. I mean, they have something. They have Terry Rozier. They have Lonzo Ball, but they can't show up. I mean, they got young guys. They have veterans that work perfectly together, but they can't show up whether it's home or away, and that's a problem for the Hornets. So I think this is definitely going to be a build-up season for the next couple upcoming seasons. Clippers ruined the Thunder 127-105, and that's also now going to lead us to look at the Western Conference a little bit more, into the Kings and Grizzlies. Let's finish this argument now because we have so much to talk about, and I know the last time we talked about it, it was a long discussion, but let's make this short and simple. I won. And now Morant is back. I told you that Morant was going to be back. You did not think Morant was going to be back, in which he is. And apparently this is the worst take I've ever had on the show. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are that, A, I did not predict that John Morant would come back so soon. That's number one. Number two, I thought the Kings would be better. They have been good. They haven't been as good as I thought they were going to be, though. And the Grizzlies were, better than I gave them credit for. And I have to be honest with you, and you were right on that. Well, that's really good.
Yeah. So,
nice job.
And it's fine. It was a good debate, though. I mean, I think they're both just as good. I think they're both going to go to the playoffs, obviously. But
yeah, definitely.
But now that Morant's back, Dillon Brooks is now injured now, and so we don't know when he's going to come back. Hopefully, it's by the playoff time. But I still think without Dillon Brooks, they're going to be able to keep it up.
With Morant back now, I definitely agree with you.
So we're now going to take a look at NFL news. My thoughts on Derek Carr going to the Saints and Jamal Williams coming to the Saints. I'm going to surprise a lot of people here. I might be like the 40% of Saint fans that actually agree with this, other than the other, 60% of the fans who probably disagree with what I'm going to say. I don't think Derek Carr should be on the Saints.
Okay.
And I actually wrote an essay about this. I actually wrote an article over this, and it was about why, because a lot of people would really like to know why, and I'm going to explain it right here. A lot of players like Russell Wilson, Andy Dalton, as much as they were all prime, they're not prime anymore. And I feel like Derek Carr is not in his prime anymore. He was eventually the last time we saw Derek Carr in his prime was seasons ago when he was playing for the Raiders. But now that he's on the Saints, people just expect that he's just going to be automatically back in his prime again, just like Russell Wilson moving to the Broncos. What did Russell Wilson do when he was in Denver? He did nothing. He did nothing. Matter of fact, he put the Broncos in last place in the division, and I feel like Derek Carr is going to do the exact same thing with the Saints when it comes to playoff time. We didn't even see that. People are like, oh, Derek Carr, insane. We didn't even see this guy put the Raiders in the playoffs. They got eliminated 2 weeks before the playoffs started. And last thing about Derek Carr, he doesn't even want to be on the Saints. He's doing this for money. He's not doing it for chemistry. He's not doing it for the fans' sake. He's doing it for himself and his own money. If you look at many other articles, like Sports Illustrated and all those other articles, they say that Derek Carr is only doing this for money. And even ESPN admitted that he did not want to play on the Saints. And, well, look at him now. He's on the Saints. And, well, he clearly doesn't want to be on the Saints. So, And as for Jamal Williams, he's great. I don't know where we're going to put him in the offensive game. I think he could be filling in that spot for Kamara because Kamara is dealing with his offseason problems, like what he did 2 years back at the casino. He got him arrested and everything. I think Jamal Williams is going to be a good backup for Alvin Kamara. So I think Williams is a good pickup. Carr, it's unquestionable.
I'm going to say that I think you're kind of right on Carr. But here's the catch. Your division is not good. So,
True. I did not
the
mention
Buccaneers,
that. Yep.
they don't have Tom Brady anymore. The Falcons are rebuilding. The Panthers are rebuilding. If the Saints are going for it, they can be average and win the division.
I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to win the division, but I don't think they're going to go anywhere in the playoffs.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Thoughts on Rodgers possibly going to the Jets as a Jets fan?
Yeah, I'll take this over. I mean, first of all, we need to actually make sure he gets on the Jets because they're still negotiating. Even though he said he wanted to go there, he's still not officially Jets. So that's the first thing. Yeah. The second thing is that, like, how much does this bring them? I think they become a playoff team now. Do they become a Super Bowl team? I'm not so sure.
Another question that I have, will he build the chemistry with the Jets?
I think he will. I mean, he has really good options with Breece Hall at running back, Garrett Wilson at wide receiver. They just added Alan Lazard, who is a Rodgers favorite, McCole Hardman, who is a guy that they worked well with Patrick Mahomes, had really good years. So I think you're going to have a lot of offensive weapons, and he's going to have a good defense again. But the thing is will they win the big games? Because last year the Jets went on a nice run, and then when they had to win the big games, they lost the big games. Can they win the big games? And second, how far can they get in the playoffs? I think they can win a first round if they make it, but I don't think they can get farther than that unless they have, like a miracle run, basically.
Right. And the last question about the NFL news, because, NFL, there's so much happening still. Where will D-Hop go? D-Hop doesn't want to be on the Cardinals anymore. And I think, there's still a possible chance that he could stay with the Cardinals, but a lot of people are expecting that he's turning down the Patriots, the Browns. They want him to go to the Cowboys to replace Ezekiel Elliott. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, D-Hop needs to find a new place to go, and I have a prediction. I'm going to say he's going to go to the Atlanta Falcons because they need a wide receiver, and Hopkins can fill that role as the number one guy for whoever they put at quarterback. I'm not really sure who they're going to put, right? Maybe Ritter, or I'm not really sure, but they need a wide receiver, and I think Hopkins can fill that role for Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go, honestly. Honestly, I feel like he's going to go on the Cowboys. And I know it's very shocking.
Really?
A lot of people, there's a lot of people that say Cowboys. Think about it. Cowboys are losing players like Ezekiel Elliott. They really want to playoff. They really want to go far in the playoffs, and they didn't do that this year. And I just feel like I feel like he can be on the Cowboys, especially if the Cowboys offer him a big contract, which they obviously can because they have money. So
yeah, and they definitely have a spot for him. I know that the Cowboys right now have CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks already on their roster. If they add a guy like Hopkins, that's three really good guys.
I think Brandon Cooks and DeAndre Hopkins have that chemistry. I think they can definitely work with Dak Prescott in the offense.
I think one underrated spot for Hopkins, though, is Baltimore. They've struggled at wide receiver position for a while
Jackson wants to leave, you know that?
He does, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're going to figure it out. It's just a bunch of, pandering and going back and forth and all that stuff.
It should be if you're dealing with a lot of money here.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, it's going to be a couple $1 million, even way more than that. So.
Yeah, and obviously the cap has gone way up recently, and quarterbacks want more and more. We just saw Daniel Jones get a $40 million a year contract.
Derek Carr, $150 million.
Yeah, I know.
Derek Carr, $150 million.
The money's going up, up. So Lamar, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, obviously wants his money, and he's going to ask for it. I think he'll eventually get figured out before the season starts, and he'll be a Raven. But I think before they get that figured out, I think Hopkins has a slight chance to go to Baltimore, but I still say Atlanta.
Yeah, well, nice take right there. Now we're going to take over to NHL. Flyers down the Wild, 5-4 in shootout. What a good game this was. The Flyers, they're not good at all, but facing Austin Reeves in the Wild, what a good win that was that they had.
Very good win.
Bruins erased the Canadiens 4-2 in Boston. Oh my goodness, the Bruins record is absolutely insane. I've actually never seen. I know this kind of sounds exaggerating and cliche here, but I am not even kidding. I've never seen a record like this ever in my entire life. The Bruins record is 55-11. What? The Canadiens record, who cares about them? 28-38. Bruins, they've clinched 5 weeks into the season, literally. Man of the game was David Pastrnak. 5 shot on goals with 1 goal. Pastrnak, he is amazing on the Bruins. He's been on the Bruins for quite some time.
Would you say the Bruins are the favorite right now for the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, they're going to win it.
Oh, they're going to win the Stanley Cup?
They're going to win it. I'm going to say it right now. I don't want to give my predictions yet until in April, but I'm going to say it right now. I'll give you a little teaser, guys. Bruins are definitely going to be in the Stanley Cup, and they're definitely going to win it. But who are they going to face? We'll figure that out later. But yeah, they're on a 5-game win streak. Not surprised. So Bruins, if they can keep up this 5-game win streak, they're going to be scaring a lot of teams. Now, I'm a Ranger fan. So this next upcoming topic right here is going to be very interesting for all the Ranger fans out there. And starting off, the Rangers won against the Hurricanes 2-1. Now, the Hurricanes and the Rangers have played in the playoffs together, and the Rangers, matter of fact, had beaten the Hurricanes before, but we could possibly see them again in the playoffs. It could be the Rangers versus the Devils, or it could be the Rangers versus the Hurricanes. And, well, let's talk about it. Rangers or Canes in the playoffs if they meet? Good question. It's very hard because the Hurricanes have a better record. They have beaten the Rangers plenty of times before. As for the Rangers, they've beaten them in playoffs before. Matter of fact, they've beaten them in Raleigh, North Carolina before, so they have won away games. So it's going to be very interesting. I do want to say that I feel like the Hurricanes are going to beat the Rangers. I want to be realistic. I think the Hurricanes are going to beat the Rangers. I just feel like the Rangers, they have more losses than Hurricanes, and I know record doesn't matter, but I feel like their goalie right now that the Hurricanes have right now, it's going to be a very good game, but I think the Hurricanes are going to pull it out, to be realistic. But go Rangers, though. I have hope for them. Key players for the Rangers is Artemi Panarin, Adam Fox, and Zibanejad. Obviously, those guys are amazing for the Rangers right now. They're carrying right now. Chris Kreider, I give him a lot of attention, but we haven't really been seeing a lot from him. But it's really about Zibanejad, Adam Fox, and Panarin. Adam Fox last night was the main player of the game. He was the reason why the Rangers won with that last goal in the third period. Key players for the Canes, it's going to be Sebastian Aho, Martin Necas, and Jack Drury. We've seen Jack Drury show up last playoffs, and, well, he did excellent last playoffs, so that's another guy to keep an eye out for. So the last question is let's say the Canes do surpass the Rangers and they face the Devils, which they're probably going to have to play each other in the playoffs. That is an even better game than the Rangers-Canes. This is a really good game. And I think the Devils will surpass the Hurricanes. I think the Devils are going to go all the way to the semifinals, to be honest. So I think the Devils will definitely beat the Hurricanes, but it'll be a good game. Golden Knights conquer the Flames 3-2 in Calgary. Golden Knights, that's another team that I feel like is definitely going to make it to the semifinals in the Western Conference. But it's still up for grabs whether they make it to the Stanley Cup. But they're literally the Boston Bruins of the West. So keep an eye out for them. Last thing we want to touch on is MLB Spring Training. This is a huge topic to touch on. A lot has happened. So to start off, Red Sox to W in not in Pittsburgh, but against Pittsburgh, 7-4. Man of the game was Johan Ovidio with 7 strikeouts. This guy really got called up to play one game, and he did absolutely phenomenal. And, well, just one game got him into the starting opening day starter roster. So what's your thoughts on Johan Oviedo?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to show out this year because the Pirates are going to have a very weak pitching staff. So if he can show out for them, that'll be a huge help for them on the pitching side. Any guy is really good for the Pirates, considering that all the guys that they gave up, the relief that they have. Look, any pitchers welcome to play for the Pirates. I think they have a strong offense, but their pitching's weak. So if Oviedo can really show out, then it's going to be just great for them. And former San Diego Padres, Jorge Alfaro for the Red Sox, he has 1 home run and 2 RBIs last night. I mean, this guy really showed up. I mean, do you think Jorge Alfaro is going to do better on the Red Sox than when he did with the Padres? I'm not sold. I just don't think he's really that good of a player. I think he's kind of just a bounce-around guy, goes everywhere, kind of, has a moment or two, but I don't really think he sticks. I mean, he's been around a lot. He's been to Philly, Miami, San Diego, and now he's in Boston. So really, I just don't see him sticking. Well, if you were going to see Alfaro in his prime, it's definitely with San Diego. I mean, considering San Diego made it far in the playoffs this year, I mean, he definitely was a good help. He's a good catcher all around, but I just feel like he can. I feel like he can show up every now and then. He's not going to be the star to look at, but I feel like he can, put some runs on the board for the Red Sox. Thoughts on the Pirates this upcoming season, as much as you literally just did not, you talk smack them. But well, I kind of think that their offense is going to be good. I'll talk about the positives with them. Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz, Brian Hayes are really 3 good hitters for them. But the real question is, as I kind of mentioned before, is their pitching. It's really weak. I'm not sure how deep it will go. They added some veterans like Rich Hill. He's been around forever, so he's kind of just like an an arm you can throw out there, and he'll pitch you some decent innings. But they don't really have an ace. Like, you don't really have that guy. Like, they had.
They gave him all
remember Garrett Cole?
Yeah. Oh,
they had Garrett Cole, right? Like, they don't have that guy.
We'll never see Pirates in their 2000s prime ever again.
I'm sorry.
They lost their players. They have Brian Reynolds, cool. They have Key Brian Hayes, but they don't got any.
We got to get a little sentimental here. The mid 2000s. 2010s Pirates, those teams
I'm
were
not a Pirates
so nice.
fan, but that was really nice to watch them play. Yankees tied the Cards 1-1. That happens in spring training. Mets tied the Braves. Yet another tied ball game. Mets tied the Braves 2-2. Man of the game was Matt Olson. This guy carries on the Braves. I feel like he's doing better with the Braves than he did with the Athletics.
Well, he's in a better lineup.
Yep.
He got a huge contract, so he's got to be feeling good about that. And it was also a weird year for him last year. He went from Oakland to Atlanta, replacing Freddie Freeman, who, by the way, Freddie Freeman won them a world championship. He's one of the best players in the history of their organization. He was literally a god. And then for some reason, the Braves didn't re-sign him and trade for Olson, and he had huge shoes to fill. So he even had he didn't have a great year, but he had an okay year, right?
Yeah.
Like, he hit like 250, hit 30 homers. But now he's been the best player this spring training.
So 2 home runs and 1 home run. Thoughts on Edwin Diaz though? His injury.
Bad. Not great. Not good.
Like it?
Well, he's one of the best closers in baseball, and he's down.
World Baseball Classic, really. I mean, they should have had this in the fall instead of now, honestly.
Well, here's the thing with the Mets. I think that their closing is okay, even without Edwin. I mean, I like David Robertson, the former Yankee. I also kind of like Adam Ottavino, another former Yankee. But, like, I think they're both kind of good. So I think that.
Do you think they can bounce back though, without Diaz?
Yeah, I think they can. I mean, I don't think it'll be Diaz level, but I think it'll be solid enough.
Now, the last question I have about the Mets is, are these two teams going to overcome the Phillies? The Phillies,
yes.
They will, because
no question.
Did last season, but they kind of fell over towards the end of the season. These two teams could wear themselves out when it comes to the Phillies.
Well, here's the thing. I don't buy the Phillies for multiple reasons. First of all, the injury.
Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, really?
Well, Bryce Harper's going to be out half the year dealing with an injury.
True.
So that's number one. And Hoskins just blew out his ACL, another big hitter in their lineup.
Yeah, that was 2 days ago,
Yeah, so really, they're going to have to rely a lot on Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber and hope that they get some offense back from Nick Castellanos, who was dreadful last year. And then they're pitching-wise, like Nola, who has been really good, goes on these weird stretches where he's either completely dominant or he's kind of like, So I don't know. I kind of like the Mets and the Braves better.
It's going to be interesting. I think the NL East is definitely going to be like the powerful division to look at. So that's now going to take me to the last thing, and that is the Dodgers took the L facing the Diamondbacks 5-11. It happens. We will see them again opening day with Urias on the mound going up. I don't know who the D-backs are putting on for the starting lineup, but I do know that the Dodgers are definitely going to come back and take that dub against the D-backs opening day. I am excited.
Question about the Dodgers.
Yeah, hold on. James Outman. He is getting a starting rotation. Was that your question?
I was actually going to mention about James Outman, so go on.
James Outman, I love seeing him play. I really missed him playing on Oklahoma City, but it's great seeing James Outman get the call up for the outfield position. I love seeing him play. He made a good catch yesterday, so I love seeing him play.
Yeah, James Outman, that was really exciting. But the other guy who made the opening day roster for the Dodgers is the veteran, Jason Hayward, the former Cub, former Brave.
I feel like he's not going to get that much playing time.
Yeah, but he's still a veteran, and they really like him.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
I'm excited. So that's going to wrap it up for the Sports Grind Season 4, Episode 14. Thank you guys for tuning in. And, I just want to say it's getting very interesting. Next time we come on here, it should be opening day.
Yeah.
So Dodger baseball is back.
And Mets
baseball is back. It's going to be very interesting to see. Playoffs are coming around for hockey and basketball. And definitely trades are still going on in the NFL. So, but what I'm mostly excited for is baseball. Baseball's coming back in April, baby. So we're excited for that. Again, thank you for tuning in. My name's Tyler Wargo.
And I'm Mickey Perella.
Thank you for tuning in to Sports Grind Season 4, Episode 14. And bye.